Hey everyone, it's Andrew, Thin Blue Line Productions. Thanks for joining me. We have a video here today that shows kind of what happens when the frauditor gets a hit on his scam, which is to essentially trap these public officials into a lawsuit so that he can take a settlement from the city, and he derives income from that. So this shows you a little bit of what happens after someone is arrested. This guy goes in. The sheriff is not the nicest guy in the world. I'll give him that. But he intentionally goes in. He's a frauditor, so he's got his own YouTube channel. He's not going in innocently asking for public records, but he is allowed public records requests. So he went in to do that. Of course, he's filming. Cop didn't like that, ultimately arrested him. Those charges, which you'll learn here, were since dropped, but he's now suing for 3 specific things, which you'll learn about. And basically, that's the hook, line, sinker of the grift. He now sues. He will go. His attorney, excuse me, will go back and forth with the city attorney, and they'll settle on something like $25,000 or something like that. His attorney will get 30% of that, and then he'll pocket 70%. So that's the grift, and the grift is almost coming to full completion on this one. And the problem that I have with it is the fact that these guys are not going innocently into these government offices, innocently asking for paperwork that's due citizens. They are purposefully going in there and kind of manipulating the system to trick people into, to trap people into a lawsuit, just like this guy was essentially trapped into a lawsuit. Are they providing a good service? I don't know. I don't think so. I think they are driving litigation expenses upward, and they are causing counterproductive things to be done to prevent access and free speech in the future. A lot of these municipalities and private businesses, they're putting up more fencing, they're putting up more signage, there's more restricted space, and all of that is curtailment of freedom of speech. And it's all because these supposed freedom of speech warriors are out there fighting for speech. And like I said in a prior video, it's counterproductive. But let's take a look at this. Hook, line, and sinker. Here we go.
Has been filed against the Hazard police chief. We recently told you about a deputy chief who's suing after she says she was retaliated against for reporting alleged excessive force by the chief. Well, this second suit comes after a man says he was arrested while trying to make an open records request at the police department. As Lee Searcy shows us, the encounter was caught on video.
In July, Dallas Campbell went to the Hazard Police Department to make an open records request for information, which any person can do with a public agency. But the conversation quickly went south.
This is a secure government building. You can't film it here. Please turn it off.
I ain't gonna turn it off.
Then beat it.
Huh?
Beat it.
Beat it?
Beat it. You can't film it here. I told you it's illegal.
That was Police Chief Darren Williams, who refused the request and stepped from behind the counter when Campbell wouldn't stop recording on his phone, which is legal to do in a public place.
I told you this is a secure government building. You cannot film here.
I disagree.
I don't care. Well,
Campbell ended up being arrested for disorderly conduct and menacing.
It was kind of shocking, it was sad, and I expected to be out of there in a couple minutes.
Campbell says the charges were recently dismissed after the county attorney watched his video. He's now suing for false arrest, malicious prosecution, and violation of the Kentucky Open Records Act.
Just because you ask questions of your government, it doesn't make you a sovereign citizen or anti-police. You can support the police and still ask questions of the government.
Campbell requested the information for his YouTube channel, Appalachian News First.
We're talking about police officers that are the very people that require people like you and me and other members of the community to comply with the law. If they get to choose and pick and select which laws are the ones that are followed and which ones are important, well, then the entire rule of law falls apart.
Let me tell you something, Bub. You don't come in here and tell me what to do. This is my police station.
You work for the people, though.
I work for the city of Hazard. I don't work for you. You don't come in here and tell me what to do. You don't come in here and tell me what I have to do and say. You understand that?
Well, I think that's a little insight to what he thinks of the average citizen and the taxpayers.
We reached out to Chief Williams for comment, but are waiting to hear back from him. Lee Searcy, Evening Edition.
We're not the only ones waiting. As for Campbell's open records requests from July, he says he's still waiting for them as well. I turn